Okay. Okay. Time to work on the video again. With a little illness and dehydration. Okay. Video is about 11 minutes. Add clipboard folder. Videos. Caden has some things. Remember. Okay. I'll just make the thanks for watching one myself. Project is on GitHub under the name Fightvania. Their prototype. Thank you for watching. Here. Add title clip. Wonderful. It doesn't fit. Fine by me. Did I edit Thank you for watching. I stream on YouTube and Twitch just during the summer. I currently prototype on itch.io. My full project is on GitHub under the name Fightvania. Feel free to check those out or check out any of my other videos. Also, feel free to like, subscribe, or. Okay. Let me just do some cutting of dead space, especially the big ones. Okay. One of the most common things we see in fighting games are special moves that are caused by motion inputs. This is one of the things that make fighting games very unique as a genre, as most other genres do not have this kind of input system in any way. So if we wanted to make one ourselves, how would we go about this? Well, if we look for help on YouTube by searching how to code a fighting game input system, we okay, that will be the first thing we do. YouTube, get OBS ready to record. Gosh darn it. Hmm. Does he just talk about it? Does he show code? He shows code. Oh my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Well, dang it, man. Hold on, what is this? Technique, clone stages. Main menu, pause menu, endgame, result tutorial, help. My characters, hit sound and damage. What do you have here? You simply imported the stage. Different stages, animations. Did you code any of the input system? No, I don't think so. Okay, so we found one video. Mm. Since I'm recording with OBS, I could say audio things. Okay, record Xboxes, no. I also need to redo it, so scene. Okay, add screen capture, existing, this thing here. Okay, let's try that again. OBS, start recording. I believe it's also recording my microphone. Yeah. It's a little better, but I can't spell words. Okay, another person's videos have frame timing, sprite animations, adding basic moves, adding controller and keyboard, collision push boxes, parallax scrolling. Do you have an input system video dedicated? Handling special moves. They have a 40-minute video. Ah, okay. Alright. Mm, Yikes. It's not exactly focus. Mm, oh, anyway. Okay. All right. So if I search this again, will I find another result? Because it has some kind of history now. Fighting game tutorial. I'm just gonna say we find nothing with that exact title as a correction. Well, if we look for help on YouTube by searching how to code a fighting game input system, we find nothing, unfortunately. So this video is here to solve that problem. Insert track, audio record track, okay. We find nothing with that exact name. Get this. Go here, go here. We find nothing with that exact name. Okay, let's move it up. Please. Oh, I'm on M, so I can't move it that way. Okay. Just delete this track. Confirm. Audio effects to this thing. First noise. We find nothing with that exact name. We find nothing with that exact name. Okay, that's fine. Effects gain. Oh, put some game on this thing. Why can I not put gain? Volume. We find nothing with that exact name. We find nothing with that exact name. -8. Right. We find nothing with that exact name. Compare it to the original by searching how to code a fighting game input system. We find nothing with that exact name. To code a fighting game input system, we find nothing, unfortunately. So this video is here to solve nothing with X that that, select these two, delete, space everything out enough to put this in. We find nothing. That exact name. There's a little more to the left. Nothing with that exact name, unfortunately. So nothing with that exact name, unfortunately. So this video is here to solve that problem. Okay, fine. Save. Alrighty. Why is the title not obvious? Why did the other developers who have made these systems not made an obvious video title? One of the most common things we see in fighting games are special moves that are caused by motion inputs. This is one of the things that make fighting games very unique as a genre. I hate being sick. That audio is fixed. I have a video I need to add now. Where the heck do I hide the OBS files? Settings. No settings. Output. In what location? Recorded clips. Okay. Editing. File. No, add. Clipper folder. Nope, wrong one. Folders. Hobby. YouTube. Recorded clips. Hold up. Where are today's clips? Output. I'll check the files again. Okay. No, there are two from right now, today. Do I have to restart Caden? No, okay. Are you serious? Good thing I saved. Verify that that audio clip is there. Yep, okay. Title clips, images, wave capture, taking in inputs. Okay. Add folder. Clips. Rename. Clips. Okay, now add these two. Please and thank you. There we go. Okay, this one does. This one, audio needs to be disabled. Edit clip. Now. Extract audio. Delete. Clip properties. Audio disable. Okay. Been just a bit of video. Okay. Cut. That make fighting games very unique to there as a genre, as most other genres do not have this kind of input system. Okay. Then I want to add a transform. Transform. There we go. That's why I've been having problems, because I just have not been able to figure out how to spell words correctly. Really should have used a browser source or something. Plenty. Okay. It's very unique as a genre, as most other. So if we wanted to make one ourselves, how would we go about this? Well, if we look for help, on YouTube by, well, if we look for help on YouTube by searching how to code a fighting game input system, we find nothing with that exact name, unfortunately. So this video is here to solve that problem. Okay, I have too much time trying to just type the thing. Here, 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 here. Just freaking, why did I have all this? Well, if we look for help on YouTube by searching how to code a fighting game input system, if we look for help on YouTube by searching how to code a fighting game input system, we find nothing with that exact name, unfortunately. So this video is here to solve that problem. Some of the prerequisites for this video are you have familiarity with fighting game special moves. It is recommended for you to have some familiarity with using arrays in code. I guess fighting game special moves isn't technically. Prerequisites for this video are you have familiarity with fighting game special moves. I can just show this stuff. Yeah. All right. This would need stock footage, which I don't have good stock footage. All right. With using arrays in code. Let's try. This prerequisites for this video are It is recommended for you to have some familiarity with using arrays in code. Let's try to understand an existing system by looking at it. Okay, I should have a titles, clips thing here. Images, clips, images, title clips. Oh, it's all of it? Oh. Okay. Control A, C, because I didn't spell any of that right. Line, center. Okay, and cut this word out. Delete the space. Put this centered this way and drag it down. Wait, no, there's a better way to change the Y positioning. Okay, so then 50. Okay, and then add some bigger text. Center this. Make this a little higher. Move this up. Actually, this should just be centered. Okay, update title. Put this over here. With using arrays in code. Let's try to understand an existing system by looking at it. We can see on any given frame, one direction and any number of attack buttons can be pressed. We also see that this list updates each frame to make a full input history. So what we need to build is an input history. Click. It is recommended. There we go. Update. Okay. Familiarity with using arrays in code. Let's try to understand an existing system by looking at it. We can see on any given frame, one direction and any This is all good. I don't mention what game engine I'm using, which is probably the biggest concern. Mm, yeah, I don't know. Insert track, record, record. Okay, I need to record. Get this. You have some familiarity with arrays. You know how to use your existing system. I'll be coding in Godot. Mm, record. Um, you understand how to use your game engine. I will be using Godot for this. Not 100% sure. Like for all of my videos, I will be using Godot. Like for all of my videos, I'll be using Godot in this tutorial. You should know the very fundamentals of your game engine. Hopefully the crying isn't caught in this part. You should know the very fundamentals of your game. No! This is going to be an annoying problem. You should know the basic fundamentals of your own game engine. You should know the basic fundamentals of your own game engine. Your own game engine. Like for all of my videos, I'll be using Godot in this tutorial. Okay, where's the other? Put this thing, copy, and copy that there. Oh, this video is. Okay, that's not where it is. Caused by motion input. It's one of the things that make fighting games very unique as a genre. So if we wanted to make one ourselves, this is the prerequisite section. Prerequisites for this video are: it is recommended for you to have some familiarity with using arrays in code. This here, this here. You should know using arrays in code. You should know there's a little bit of audio that needs to die. You should know the basic fundamentals of your own game engine. Like for all of my videos, I'll be using Godot. Zoom in. I can't freaking see. The filter is in the way. Okay, and then edit this clip. 2 dot. No. More game engines. basic code functions. So what do I assume by basics? That means basic types like int, arrays, you know your custom types. Maybe. Mm, arrays are definitely not a very basic thing, but they can be complicated. Dictionaries, how to use the basic types of all the, you know how to base basic functions, you know your game engine fairly well. You know your game engine a comfortable amount. Mm, you know, don't you dare do this to me. Stop. I may not stream tomorrow since I keep getting what feels to be worse. I'm gonna breathe too. Now that we know we're using nested arrays, okay. Now that we know we're using nested arrays, what should the data actually look like? For me, I ended up going with numpad notation for the directions. I have a slide on that. Um, that's pretty good to help. Hobby, the thing, world building, grass slides, input management. It's loading. Just needs some time. Okay, I have this. Okay. Either this or I use the overlaid image that I have somewhere. Mm, I'll use this slide, I think. Current slide. Full screen. Take a screenshot of the full thing. Also move the viewer out of the way first. Screenshot. Click. Move the viewer back. Escape. Go to the location. Take it. I might want to delete all of these at some point. Files. Hobby. YouTube. Work in progress. How to code images. Paste. Jaden. Import. Clip. And work in progress vids. How to code images. Literally just now. Which should be in other stuff. Come on, scroll down. Why is it so hard to make this thing move? Please, thank you. Gosh. Okay, I close the project bin. What the? Oh, they're just basic transitions. Now that I've closed that, how do I open it again? No, thank goodness. Alright, I hate how precise that is. Okay, then screenshot this thing somewhere. Now that we know we're using nested arrays, what should the data actually look like? For me, I ended up going with numpad notation for the directions, and I also set these directions to constants so that they are easier to reference. For the attack buttons, I also just use integers. Okay, and then I think on top of this should be a blank thing that has a transform effects, transform to change things. 2000 divided by 600. Okay. Cool. Okay, adjust it to be 700. Epic. Okay. See this one, but the transform is a different number of 1400. Too much. Too little. Perfect. Okay. Then I adjust baseline audio. For me, I ended up going with numpad. This can be shortened. This can be shortened. For me, I ended up going with numpad notation for the directions. From start to the word numpad. Notation with numpad going with numpad with numpad notation for the directions, and I also set these directions to constants. Little less. So that they are easier to reference. Yep. Then here, here, here. There's a bit. This, there. Get these. Select this, this, this. They are easier to reference. For the attack button, easier to reference. For the attack button. Oh wait, did that really? I ended up going with numpad notation for the directions, and I also set these directions to constants so that they are easier to reference. For the attack button, I'm going to add a little bit more space back there. Easier to reference. For the attack buttons, I also just use integers as well, just to keep the same type. And to make it easier to reference, I also set them to constants. Which means I should copy this slide, but with this thing to represent it again. So I'll duplicate this slide, I'll copy, I'll take these and delete them. Then I'll go like this. Might be best to just have this 4 on the screen. Okay. Add a 1 to literally every number. Shrink this over a bit. Then expand the box. Okay. And then this would be EX punch. This would be punch, or heavy punch. This would be light punch. this wouldn't exist. This would be heavy kick. This would be light punch kick. EX kick. Just be light kick. Upright is heavy punch kick. Okay. Okay. I think that's mainly fine. I just need to size them now. Or space them. So that they all fit neatly. Okay. Then I could cut the corners out actually. Because it's not important to this video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 is running closer together. Well, heavy punch, light kick, etc., etc. Take out the corners. Take out the mid. Point. There we go. No, that 16 is too far. Center. Align objects. No. If I do this, it's gonna be worse, yeah. Didn't think so. This one I want to center on slide. Alright, and then present this slide. Screenshot it. When it actually, damn it. Wait for it to show up. Take the screenshot. Okay. Move it. Pictures, screenshots, most recent image, back, paste it. Cadence, editing, add a new clip. Go here. This one from literally right now. Not this folder. Okay.
So that's one way to do it.
For the attack buttons, I also just use integers as well, just to keep the same type. And to make it easier to reference, I also set them to constants. So now that we know what
Okay, the same two clips. Copy, paste them.
For the attack buttons, I also just use integers as well.
This one needs to be adjusted. This one's fine. Okay,
For the attack buttons, I also just use integers as well, just to keep the same type.
This can be shortened a little bit.
Also just use integers as well. Just use integers as well, just to keep the same type. And to make it easier to reference, I also set them to constants. So set them to constant.
That audio clip.
Easier to reference, I also set them to constants. So now that we know what are set them to constants. So now that we know what our data looks like, we can start to take in some inputs, manage those inputs so that they come out correct, and then store them in the list for a singular frame. Constants. So now that we know what our data looks like, we can start to take in some inputs. Looks like we can start to take in some inputs, manage those inputs so that they come out correct. They come out correct, and then store them in the list for a singular frame, and then store them in list for a singular in the list for a singular frame. What this looks like in code. Okay, so it's a visual representation of what we want to do. Okay.
the next part, I guess, would be stealing some of the stuff from
the reference for the attack buttons.
Ooh, that's noticeable. Snap this to the left. This here. I can extend that because it has
the
blank audio.
reference for the attack buttons. I also just use integers as well.
Should this be better?
Easier to reference for the attack buttons. I also just use integers as well, just to keep the same type. And to make it easier to reference, I also set them to constants.
Okay.
So now that we know what our data looks like, we can start to take in some inputs, manage those inputs so that they come out correct, and then store them in the list for a singular frame. So now that we know what our data looks like, we can start to take in some inputs.
So I think a controller plus a controller or an image for like pressing a button. And then managing those inputs would be to change the directions, which I have a slide for, but I don't know if it's the best one to use. I wish I could see anything. A hitbox would be fine, actually. This plus, is it this one? I could use it. I forget. I want the next one, I think. This one. Okay, seriously? Equal sign? So, this one, and this one, Control C, because I need them in both, kind of. Not really, since I'm done with that other video. Hitbox and screenshot. Okay. Data, import, those clips, hitbox, and that screenshot with the earliest date would be that one, so it's these two. Okay, add these two. So then we add our hitbox. We add the screenshot for the managing. I will shrink this severely. So we go into effects. This transform, scale, half, maybe less. Okay. Then just like place it in the corner or something. Put this underneath.
Manage those inputs.
Okay. You would need a crop. Edge crop? What is edge crop? No, let's not use that one. Crop by padding. $100. 200. 250 just to be safe. Okay.
Correct. and then store them in the list for a singular frame. What this looks
And then I need something that's a storage container. Or storing an array. I could just put a box with brackets in it or something. Uh, mm, or do I say manage the inputs?
looks like. We can start to take in some inputs, manage the.
There.
So now that we know what our data looks like, we can start to take in some inputs.
Manage those inputs.
And start to take in some inputs, manage those inputs so that they come out correct, and then store them in the list for a singular frame.
I'll draw a box, I guess. New. I guess it just decided to hide itself on the other screen again. Come on. 64, 64. Let me get something that's not tiny. And then bring that thing over to where I want to work on it. Okay. So for a box, vector painting maybe? What? Please, for goodness gracious. No painting. Okay, square. That's a line. I wanted a square. Why the hell is Control Z not working? Are you insane? Why is this? What? Huh? Use a negative. Square. Uh, new square. Uh, cool. How do I angle them in a way? Um, Node. Is there like a skew? Painting, and then new layer, another square, which can be adjusted to match it. Anyways, graph view, is there like a node that's a skew? Yeah. Why did it not show up? I'm gonna restart this thing. Hobby, art. Oh, I need to name the file. Okay, open. Please don't be broken. Why did you open on a different tab? There's one where it's actually the working document, which I want here. Okay. The second box is gone, which is annoying, but alright. Okay. Node. Skew. Image. Perfect. Okay. If I do this and output like that instead, skew 100, 10, point 1. Okay, it's decimal numbers. That's good to know. Ooh. Okay, then I want this one to be skewed by negative numbers, probably. This, that, negative. Additionally, they should not be connected like this, so should not be background. You should be a combine or a merge or whatever. Merge. Top and bottom should be fine. Output should be like this. You should go like this. Okay. Then I think that's all right. Almost. If I rotate it, it works pretty well. And this is where snap becomes annoying. Perfect. Okay, I feel like actually changing this one to be a little sharper on that negative. Negative 2. Same with this one. Goodness. really wants to cut itself off the screen. Oh, if I change the color, actually, it might help. Fill tool? Yep. And then go with a brownish color that's dark here, and a lighter one here. Where is this box positioned? This one. Ooh. What happened? Why is it doing that? Mmm. They're sharp. Okay. My problem is also this box is not the same shape. Just annoying to. I say I just input it easily. Rotate a bit more. Oh, I need an empty. I need an inside. Gosh darn it! I hate that. Um, if I duplicate layer, put this up top, move it here. Put this layer in front, actually. This base layer needs to go in front of everything. This one can be adjusted in the graph view, which of course it's not supposed to do that. No. Go to your own output. Don't have an input. I need more merges. Top, bottom, output. Then I need to duplicate this one. Put it up top as well. No, it should be lower. Yes. and then adjust it in the graph view, because of course I need to. Output, another merge. Okay. Right. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Mhm, 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 mhm. I think that's fine. Do this. Now it feels like someone actually put in effort. Um, Change the fill color with a 95% tolerance to. It shouldn't be the same color. Seems a little different. So actually, it makes more sense for that to be the case. I swear, where is the box? No. You light. You darker. Why? And this one should be even darker because it's inside the box. And this one should be at least a little darker on a diagonal line. Ooh. This one? Oh, that's really hard to tell. I should have just hidden everything else so I can see what I'm doing. Master tool. Ooh. Okay. Then we go fill. Too much tolerance. 20. 30. Thank you. E for eraser. That should be good. It's not a straight line, which is also a concern. Pen. Alt. This color. Uh, Skew is impossible to draw on. really wish I could. Oh, wait, was it? Oh, wonderful, amazing, awesome. Things that make life so much easier. Okay, no, this line. I am not trying to fill everything. Alright, let's do this with the pen tool. It's a lot straighter. An E for eraser. Go to the pixel art part. The pen. Not 10 pixels on, please and thank you. E for eraser. So, this. Okay. Okay, so that's from the base layer. Some of it is also not from the base layer. Okay, pixel art. Can I just merge these? Merge it below. Pen tool, alt this. Fix the colors. Oh. Okay. Save. Go to this. Unhide these? Neat. I see it at resolution. Base layer. Move it a little. I will say good enough, and I will put some things in there as images. Okay. What do I put in here? Do I have an arrow? No, I don't have a simple arrow to put in. Easy. I have the images for some things. Smart layers are interesting. Okay, can I just take this and paste it into this? Yes, I can. Okay, cool. All right. Wonderful. I'll go here. Yes, that's a problem. We'll put it at the back. And that does the thing I don't want it to. So I'll move it up. And just remove everything that isn't black. Remove all the black. Oh, that's even worse. Okay. Magic wand, delete this color. Screenshot, change to a rasterization, then select with magic wand. Right. Right. Am I just even selected? No. Okay. Save. Delete. Can I change this settings? File. Image. Resize this nested image? 128 by 128? First scale this up, actually. Scale it up. Then on this fill, what's this? What fill? Contagious. On the painting tolerance, it's 10% enough? No. 20. Not better, but not fully. I'm going to change the size as well, actually. So, image, resize canvas, point center, 256, 128. Deselect, and then resize. Wait, the one? Oh, there's a difference. Okay. Then go, and I believe the color set. 90. There we go. And put it in the box. I need the transform tool. Put it in the box. This should come in front of things, so let me see how it's rendering everything. Da, 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 da. Yeah, let me rethink this. Hopefully with less merge tools. Okay, so this one is a front block. This is the right block. Okay. This has one end, this has another end. This should have no background. It should go into the new image, merge. Yeah. How do I get it in between without destroying the arrow? Let me reorder this. Okay. So merge. This is the back, so this is the bottom. This left wall should be on top, right? Okay. Then on top of those, should be this. Okay, meaning the entire box comes out nicely. Okay, those are the front ones. Then between the two, we add the arrow. On top of the back layer. And then I move the arrow inside the box. Oh my goodness. 2D box! Look at that! The box! I'm learning how to do art with this program using my very limited tool of the touchpad. Dang. Let me add to this layer. I want to add text. White text. Text on this layer. I don't want to make a new layer. It skews onto the text. Okay, green. Change the size to 20 or 30. Nice. Oh, I love this. So good. No, don't do that. That's really, really not cool. Yeah, this This being graphy makes things both complicated and this. That's not much. Like, yeah, we add text and then we. Is it based on positioning from left to right? I don't. Verticality? I don't get it. Either way, this is alright. I just need to change the text positioning a little. Oh man. Perfect. 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 File. Save as. Rename it to box of one frame. Save. File. Export. Export this thing to YouTube TV. Work in process. That code. Images. Save. Seriously have to crash? At least I saved the thing. We open it again. We'll find our box, hopefully. Epic. I'll export on the other side then. Export. Now I close it manually. It should be fine. Editing. Click box in a single frame. Increase the resolution as well. Wonderful. Oh, I love being able to make my own assets. And if I stack them all right, this needs more cropping. Crop should be. Ooh. Hey, another crop on there. Cropping. Oh wait, I can just put the thing on top. Never mind. That's better way to do it. Putting this up, that down. There we go. Okay, transform. FX. Why is transform not easy to spell? Scroll down here. I want it down a lot. Okay.
Can start to take in some inputs, manage those inputs so that they come out correct, and then store them in the list for a singular.
Okay.
Can start to take in some inputs, manage those inputs so that they
Not correct.
come out correct, and then store them in
Suspect the sound of audio spacing.
the list for a singular frame.
So play it.
And some inputs, manage those inputs so that they come out correct, and then store them in the list for a singular frame.
I made the box myself. I got like dumb apples. Alright.
What this looks like in code is,
Okay.
as you can see on your screen, for just up and down. This is just a miniature version to make it easier to read and understand. A larger version is seen in my managing inputs video. The next thing we need to do is save.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And it's also close to me ending the stream, so I will decide, depending on if dinner is ready at downstairs. Alrighty. Okay. So code section from here to about here.
To these frames into our full input history. On your screen, you should have a few options for what this line would look like.
So here I just show the code. Will you explain it?
What this looks like in code is, as you can see on your screen, for just up and down. This is just a miniature version to make it easier to read and understand. A larger version is seen in my managing inputs video.
Maybe because I made the video and I explain it in more detail there. I also think it's not a lot of lines. Mini input manager. Ignoring most of this. I think I should use the Obsidian version. Devlog script kinda. typed it out here. Okay, costs. Go to Godot. Why did it do this to me? Okay. Taking some inputs. Can I do add ignore warning? There we go. Toggle comment. Simply ignore it. Yep, you can keep them spaced. That. Then this can be taken a screenshot of from here to here. Declare this as n. Click here, print screen. I explained what we did in code, and then I just do it. Sorry, I explained what we did with images, and then I show the code version of the same thing. That is my justification. Okay, it's in screenshots, so once again, pictures, screenshots, scroll down, copy the most, or take the most adjacent image, go back to, paste it, add it to Caden, add the code. What this looks like in code is, as you can see on your screen, for just up and down. Code for just up and down.
looks like in code for just up and down. This is just a miniature version to make it easier to read and understand. A larger version, what this looks like in code for just up and down. This is just a miniature version. Code is, as you can see on your screen. Code is, as you can see on your screen, for just up and down.
Or just up and down. Looks like this, as you can see on your screen.
Is, as you can see on your screen, for just up and down.
As you can see on your screen.
What this looks like in code.
Okay, yeah, so if I just reorder it, it should be fine.
In code for just up and down is, as you can see on your screen. This is just a miniature version to make it easier to read and understand.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to be.
Make it easier to read and understand. A larger version is seen in my managing inputs video. The next thing we need to do is save each of these frames into our full input. My managing inputs video. The next thing we need to do is save each of these frames into our full input history. On your screen, you should have a few options for what this line would look like.
Visual of a truck being loaded with boxes at each frame, or something. I don't know.
Feel free to participate in the quiz, or not, it's up to you. The options are input history.append inputs of current frame, input history.append inputs of current frame.duplicate. And I don't know.
Okay, I need title clip. Title clips. Use the quiz in the description.
Or not, it's up to you. Feel free to participate in the quiz, or not, it's up to you. The options are
Select this over. Duplicate clip. Edit clip. Grab it off of Obsidian. At this point. Okay. Oh my goodness, this thing is too long. 80. Okay. Update this copy. Update.
It's up to you. The options are input history.append inputs of current frame.
My goodness. Significantly longer than expected. That's a bit.
And inputs of current frame. Input history.append inputs of current frame.duplicate. And I don't know.
That's a little bit too much waiting. Two, three, four, five. Wait.
And I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sure.
The correct line is the one with dot duplicate in it.
Yep. Edit clip.
The correct line is the one with .duplicate in it. Here's a bit of a visual example on why this is important. When we use just append, we are essentially saying that everybody looks at the same box. And if that box has the number 5 in it, if you ask any one of us what that number is, we'll say 5.
I see some issues.
Here's a bit of a visual example on why this is important. When we use just append, we are essentially saying that everybody looks at the same box. And if that box has the number 5 in it, if you ask any one of us what that number is, we'll say 5. And then if that box changes from 5 to 99, if you ask us again, we're both going to say the same thing of 99. However, when we use append and duplicate,
This gap is a little big.
However, when we use append and duplicate, we are essentially looking at different boxes. What this allows us to do is change one person's answer without changing the other person's answer. So when you make this change and then ask us again, we will each give a different answer. The reason we need to do this is because each frame contains its own set of information separate from the frame before it or the frame after it.
Frame 1 does not equal frame 2 is going to be the entire image for that section. I think that would be probably the easiest for me. New title clip. Frame 1 not equal to frame 2. It's not equal to frame 3. Let me find the not equal sign online. Thank you.
Different answer. The reason we need to do this is because each frame contains its own set of information separate from the frame before it or the frame after it. So let's make these additions to our previous code. We add the declaration of the input history, we add a clear for the inputs of the current frame, and we add the line we just talked about, input history dot append dot inputs of frame dot duplicate.
Let's check if dinner's done yet or not. Okay, it seems like dinner is ready, so I will hit eat there and then continue working on the video for what might be the next 6 days. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's less than that. I got a lot of code to go through, and a ton of gaps that I still need to cut and shrink. Okay, that's most of the start of the video. Maybe a little bit more stock footage for the beginning. This is about, we are about half done? Ooh. What the heck is all this? Here as well. And here I thought this video was going to be 10 minutes. I don't believe you.
Sequence priority. B, attack button support. C, both. D, neither.
This needs a little less gaps. And the question weight is fine. Literally making my video shorter when I don't need to.
C, both. D, neither. The answer is C, both. And we'll start with working on the most recent sequence gets priority.
That's another large gap that I don't remember
The
why.
easiest way to do this is to start with reversing the way we read on the most recent sequence gets priority. The easiest way to do this is to start with reversing the way we read the inputs. Instead of from oldest to newest, we read it from newest to oldest. We also need to keep track of the current index to make sure we're actually using the most recent move. Compared to the previous code, the changes we need to make are to reverse the input history in digits when we start the for loop and when we return a value. Then, if we change history in digits when we start the for loop and when we return a value. Then, if we were returning true,
I guess I'll cut the audio down a little bit.
we return a value. Then, if we were returning true, we change return a value. Then, if we were returning true, we change that to a dictionary that contains the index as the key and the digits as the value. And if we were returning false, then we return an empty dictionary. Then to fix the edge case, we have the same start index. We need to track the index of the last digit in the sequence. Then we return that index as the key. Then remember, since we've reversed the input history and digits, the first digit we check is this last digit that we're looking for. We can test this version of the sequence creator by using it in the process function with the print line.
It's gonna need some work. Okay. Right. I'm gonna end it here. Save and close.